Hey, Ty here, so welcome to the VR Tech channel. So many things happened this week. In VR we have super big announcement like Resident Evil 4 arriving to the Oculus Quest 2, more details about the biggest Quest competitor, and well, also about the future of Quest with Quest 3 and Quest 2 Pro, with some bad news and some good news. So well, let's get into it. Just a little plug, we're on the road to 100k, so thanks so much for the support. Of course, I decided to do the crazy thing to start to give away one Oculus Quest 2 each month till the end of the year, since we reach 100k. So of course, the sooner the better. The best way to do is like the video so it gets more around, share of course, it's another thing too, and subscribe. So when we start with it, well, you're gonna be first in line. Alright, so let's start briefly with a new update for 120Hz on the Oculus Quest 2 V28. We talked about it in the latest video, but we already have some information about the few games that are going to arrive with 120Hz support. Bear in mind that the support for 120Hz is not easy. We're still running on a mobile chipset, the XR2, and well, yeah, it's already a miracle that they were able to push everything at 90Hz when we started 72Hz a year ago when the Quest 2 was released, and when right now we're running some games at 120Hz. That's almost twice as much. So the first step is going to be Cubism. It's easy as it comes to graphics, of course, that's why it supports 120Hz. And well, the experience with that is even more fluid. Then we have two table tennis games. 11 Table Tennis is actually my favorite ping pong game, and well, that is going to support 120Hz. The dev announced it on the Reddit post, so is working to add it as soon as possible with the next update. And the other one, there's another table tennis game, is Racket Fury. This actually already has the update that you can enable in the options, of course, in the menu. So well, 3 games is not bad considering that majority of the people didn't receive V28 yet, me included. Let me know if you did, and which game would you like to see 120Hz? Like realistically, okay? So like, I think Super Hot would be possible, is to low down the resolution even more. I mean, they went to 90Hz, so hopefully it's a possibility, but yeah, what would you like to see? Alright, talking about games, this was completely unexpected. We're talking about Resident Evil 4 arriving natively on the Oculus Quest 2. Now, there's some good and some bad. Now, this happened during the Resident Evil Village showcase, so nobody was expecting, I was actually expecting Village to get PSVR support. But yeah, apparently Village doesn't have VR, but we're getting Resident Evil 4 on the Quest 2. What is the bad news then? Well, this is gonna be one of the first games to arrive just on the Oculus Quest 2. So if you're still rocking the Oculus Quest 1, they just consider it outdated, and they want you to just, you know, upgrade. Now we're gonna talk more about this point in a bit with a conversation between Boz and Carmack that happened just yesterday. But yeah, I would like to know before that, what are your opinion on it? I can understand it, to be honest, at the end of the bigger game is a complete game. So, you know, it might create some problems on the older hardware like the XR one. But yeah, it's kind of hard to swallow. And talking about things that are hard to swallow, well, let's talk about this new virtual reality headset, right? Why? We finally have more images and specs about the Pico Neo 3. One thing that I was expecting is the 4K display. Now we know the resolution is going to be exactly the same as the Pico Neo 2. It's 90Hz and is a curved display. This is something that really interests me to see in person. Then they showed also the maximum tracking area that is going to be 10 meters by 10 meters. That is actually better than what we have on the Oculus Quest 2. That is 7 meters by 7 meters. And of course in this area we're going to have millimeter precision accuracy. And we also now know the capacity of the battery, that is 5300 mAh for around 2.5 hours of usage. These pictures come from JD.com, and they show even better the fact that, well, we're talking about pretty much a clone of the Oculus Quest 2. We also have a first look at the controllers that over here they look pretty similar, like the standard that we have right now for VR controllers, and they have 2 additional buttons, one for the menu, one for the home, and they are on both of the controllers, something similar to what we saw in the Pico Neo 2 controllers. But yeah, there's the ring for the tracking, so we know that they completely ditched the magnetic tracking that we had on the previous version. So yes, we don't know the pricing yet, but right now it's not that important because it's gonna arrive primary in May on the Chinese market, and at the end of summer also on the Western market, but it's gonna focus again on just business and enterprise. So, well, that's what we know. Alright, so let's get to the latest point because we now have a little more information, more news about the Oculus Quest 2 Pro or the Oculus Quest 3. John Carmack, Andrew Buzz actually had a conversation on Twitter Spaces, and they talked a bit about the future of the Quest 2 platform. Also because there was a lot of talking about this fact that Resident Evil 4 was just for the Quest 2 instead of being for both the platforms. So when they were talking about this Quest 2 exclusives, John Carmack said that he's actually supportive of this Quest 2 exclusives thing because if a dev was to do something that is not possible on the Quest 1, that is advancing with technology and stuff, it should be able to do it without any problem. Of course, he's also said that it's actually pretty easy right now to port games to the Oculus Quest 1, and if someone makes more money and wants to put down more effort, it's completely worth it because we have around 7 figures people using the original Oculus Quest 1. Now, we know that the Quest 2 actually have sold not just the Quest 1, but actually also the Rift, the Go, the Rift S, all combined together, so it's selling very, very well. But yeah, many people are using the Quest 1 right now. It's just 2.5 years old, 3 years old, and they're already ditching it for some games. So yeah, it's not the best look out there, but they're actually trying to calm a bit the situation. And because of that, Buzz actually talked about the Quest 2 Pro and the Quest 3, because there are rumors around that, by the way, he created himself, and is trying to calm down the situation. Now, it's a bit weird to believe completely what he's saying, because what he's saying is like, yes, they're working on a Quest 2 Pro, so yeah, we know they're working on something, but it's something that is not going to be ready soon. It's not going to be ready this year, and it's not going to be ready until next year, maybe because they don't really know what they want to put in that headset yet. There was a conversation about putting eye tracking or face tracking, but the priority seems to be right now still computational power and resolution. Another thing that might confirm that we're not actually getting a Quest 2 Pro anytime soon, a Quest 3 anytime soon, is the fact that from Qualcomm, who makes the chipset actually for the Quest 2, we don't have any news about the XR3, the next generation processor for VR and AR. Instead, as we covered, Qualcomm is actually focusing on the older processor to use right now in some kind of hybrid situations for AR capabilities, AR headsets. So right now, well, we don't have an XR3 and would not make sense to make a Quest 3 with the exact same performance of the Quest 2. And Boss also went even further, saying that Quest 3 doesn't even exist yet. So yeah, take it as it is. We know that Nintendo is working on a new Switch, but it's saying at the same time, well, we don't have a new Switch announcing and stuff, so they don't stop selling the headset or the consoles that we have right now, and probably they're doing the same thing. Now, personally, I still feel confident recommending the Quest 2 because it's a great headset, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, this Quest 1 is not that old, and already we are getting games that are not supporting it, so I wonder if the Quest 2 will be in the same situation. Yeah, they're saying that it's going to be supported for a long time, but, well, they said the same for the Quest 1, so, be aware every time. We know that technology grows very fast, by the way, so of course you have to expect something to get hold in around 2 or 3 years or maybe 4 years. But yeah, think about it. There's no processor right now for VR even being announced, a new processor, so usually it takes a year between the announcement and the moment when we actually have it in our headsets or in our phones and stuff like that, so we have 1 year covered, I guess. For the Quest Pro, well, we don't know, but in case it's not gonna add new games, but just functionalities like maybe eye tracking and face tracking. Yeah, to sum up all the conversation, pretty much. So yeah, as I said, some good news, some bad news. Do you actually like the move they are taking with the Quest 2? Having exclusives, do you think that makes sense? Are you still rocking an Oculus Quest 1 right now and you feel a little betrayed that you don't have Resident Evil 4? Or you don't care because you never played Resident Evil 4, you don't know even what it is. By the way, I never played it. Everyone is super hyped about, and I don't understand why. So if you can explain me what's special about Resident Evil 4 compared to like every other like zombie games or horror games, please let me know, because I'm really trying to be hyped as well, and I'm still not getting it. So yeah, looking forward to hearing from you. But anyway, guys, it's the weekend, so let's start to relax. As always, if you liked the video, like. If you didn't like the video, dislike. Subscribe to the channel for more VR tech. And if you really love the channel, there's a join button down there. Little and further, also the Patreon. Prior access to videos. Of course, thanks to all the Patreon that support the channel. And at the same time, we have t-shirt, sticker, and mask. 2021 item number 1 in the description below. So check it out. And as always, like, dislike, subscribe. I said it again, but yeah. See you guys next video. Thanks for watching.